3, 4. Well, welcome back to part 2 of Chord Lab, experiment number 1, but we'll call this experiment number 2. We had to split up our little test into 2 parts so that we could go all the way through the whole 12 tones cycling underneath an E chord. And by the way, you can take any chord that you want and do the same experiment with it, see what you get. You could have some ideas for a new song or some soloing ideas, etc., but just experiment and have fun. Now, if you put an A under the E, it's a great sound. I would call it an A major 9 type of tonality. Works wonderfully. Now if you move up to the A sharp under the E, now it's getting a little bit hairy there. So if you get this kind of a real dissonant sound, what I would do maybe is attach the A sharp as the third of the F sharp, and in this case like an F sharp dominant sound, and it would actually be an F sharp 11. So you've got the third there. Pretty funky sounding, but have some fun. Experiment, see what you come up with. Moving right along, now you've got moving up to the B under the E, and it's actually just the second inversion of E major, as we talked about in the series on slash chords and inversions. But you can also think of it as a Bsus sound, which we also touched on in the sus chord video. Okay, let's go with the Bsus idea. See if you can hear that tonality. Now let's move up to a C under the E. And now you have a pretty strange sounding chord. E over C, you might not see it that often, but it actually supports a Lydian augmented tonality. Let's try it out and see what happens. Okay, strange, but try it out and see what you get. Now when you move to the C sharp under the E, you've got simply a C sharp minor 7. And that could be interpreted all kinds of different ways in different situations. It could be it's a minor, it could be a Dorian sound, as I did in that little intro demo. So it'd be C sharp minor 7 to an F sharp 9. You could also have a natural minor sound. flavor of a melodic minor. A little Santana-esque. We'll move up to a D underneath the E, and probably you could call it an E7. If you want to think of it as an E7, then that gives you the E flavor, the E dominant flavor. Works fine. You could also think of it off of a D root with a D tonality, and that would be a Lydian sound, which also works very well. Now, before you return home to E, you've got an E over D sharp. Another kind of crazy dissonant sounding chord, but it depends upon context. If it's a passing chord, that's not that unusual. So in this case here, you could think of it as an E major 7 with the major 7th in the bass here. Not that unusual. And then we're back home to the E. Bet you never thought we'd arrive home again. This is my interpretation. Take any chord you want and move the bass around under it. You don't have to go through the whole 12 tones, but you get the idea. You'll experiment and come up with some sounds that you like, and grab a hold of it for your own songwriting, etc. Now, I want to leave you with a final thought here. All this theory and chord analysis, and later we'll be doing more with scales and various rhythms and divisions of rhythms and all that. It's great stuff, no doubt, but it's just like a trail map. And it occurred to me today that as my wife and I were out hiking a trail, we've been doing that since we've been sheltering in place and socially distancing and all that. We're trying to get some fresh air, go out on the trail. And some of the best trails that we have found have been off the book. We haven't used the map, and we just discovered them, and it was a joyful thing. So chord theory and music theory, chord analysis, and all that is kind of like a trail map. You can find your way without one, and sometimes you get some surprises. So what I would encourage you to do is to explore all the musical sounds that your ears and fingers can bring to you. Even if you don't know the theory behind it yet, eventually you most likely will if you stick with it. But keep experimenting and trying new trails as you go. Some of the most inventive music has been created by breaking the rules. So I'll leave you with that little thought. Until next time, have fun exploring music and in your chords and tonalities and everything else, and stay safe. Do some track. Okay, so if you... Okay. Ooh, big clap there. I did it again. Holy